Hello everyone, welcome to August with Democracy X Innovation English version again with me, Puripat and Kwan Khao.
Hello.
Today we will be talking about vaccine scarcity in Thailand, the shortage of vaccine. It's been a while since we have seen the total vaccinated, herd vaccinated
number.
Is that what they call, one day in June, in the beginning of June, I thought it was the 6th or 7th or 7 or 8 of June. A lot of people have been vaccinated in one day, more than
only one day though.
Only one day, more than 400,000 people got vaccinated in that day. So it was everybody was surprised that, okay, in the next month, maybe the cases of the COVID-19 in Thailand will drop because we got a good vaccine. I didn't say it's the best one, but it's a good one, right? AstraZeneca. It's not bad.
Right.
It's not like inactivated vaccine like Sinovac that has less efficiency and efficacy rate. So,
right.
But a week later, the Prime Minister had said that because you accelerate the vaccination too much, that's how it becomes shortage. So you don't need to accelerate that rate too much, maybe you go moderately or slowly. That makes the vaccine for everyone. So they're slowing down, and not surprised that the new case has not been dropped. Instead, it has been raised very fast, right? In Thailand.
Yeah, new high every day.
Yeah, it has been new high every day. From June, I could say I'm looking at the statistic right now that from June, it's only 2,000 to 3,000 cases a day.
Case per day.
Yeah, it's not that high, but at the beginning of July, it started to get more than 5,000 or 6,000. That's a lot for Thailand because we don't have space or hospitals to be handled with
accommodate the patient.
Right,
yeah.
But in the mid of July, it's been raised to 10,000 cases a day.
Which is high.
Yeah, very high.
It was unexpected number for a lot of people in the society. We never imagined Thailand would face such a 10K cases per day.
And now, at the end of July, we have new high at 18,900 cases more. Yeah. And it's not only the new high of the case, but also the death rate.
Exactly, death rate
raised more than 100 deaths per day. So during July, we don't have new vaccine, it hasn't been received. Thailand hasn't been received the good vaccine, the so-called good vaccine AstraZeneca, a single dose in July. I don't know what happened, but because of the lower rate of vaccinated, and the only vaccine we have in the month is only Sinovac and some of AstraZeneca. And it's not enough for people to protect themselves against the new Delta variant. And, as because of that, we received 2 or 3 million doses of Sinopharm, right? And also inactivated vaccine from China also. But maybe it has been proved that the efficacy and efficiency rate of the Sinopharm is higher than Sinovac. But it doesn't really have an empirical data that it can protect against the Delta variant, even it is better than Sinovac. So only 3 type of vaccine that has been widely spread for Thai people. And it's still, it's been clear, it's been showed clearly that it is not enough, and the infection rate has risen continuously, and no sign of it that will be dropped. So I hated to say, but
currently there's only about 3.9 million people who got vaccinated 2 doses. This is from the data of Prom, the Thai official application. And it's very enough if you think about the population of Thailand. Plus we only see the spread of the distribution of vaccine is only centralized in big urban area. especially the good one, like
Mm-hmm.
AstraZeneca,
Mm-hmm.
or the one that people prefer only like centralized in Bangkok mostly. Why the other rural area, like other province, only receive like Sinovac
Mm-hmm.
mostly. So
Mm-hmm.
that is also another problem. Like not only the shortage of the vaccine in Thailand, we only have 3 brands, but also the unequal distribution of vaccine to different rural area comparing to Bangkok. See, so
Right.
that is a problem that we are facing. Like, and after you say like we have a large number of like 1 or 2 day people being vaccine, like 5, 6, 7 June, and then after that we face with this shortage of vaccine, and now we are in deeply crisis because like the case rising every day, and there's no vaccine to help at all.
Yeah, I'd like to add that you said 3 million, like 3.6 million people have got fully vaccinated, but I think more
like
than
2
a
doses
half,
only though.
like more than a half of these people, they receive the full doses of Sinovac,
Yeah.
which doesn't really protect them from the Delta variant, which now the Delta variant is a major spreading in Bangkok.
Yeah.
Surely, I think more than 95% COVID-19 in Bangkok is Delta variant, and Sinovac cannot do anything about it. And or from the data, it's only 5.2% of people in Thailand got vaccine. So it's a long way to
it's not even
50%.
10% yet.
It's not even 10%. It's only half of the 10%.
And like imagine we have like 2 years to prepare for this outbreak. Like I don't know, is this the third wave or fourth wave of the outbreak of COVID-19?
Yeah.
But we have like 2 years in 2019, 2020 to handle this, to prepare for the vaccine and etc. And we still face with the same problem. Like, I mean, how could you not see this coming at all? It's just not logical.
And I think now Google is a good source of data that we're looking at, like, and you can see that the lockdown measures, or you could say semi-lockdown from the government has nothing to do with the case raising. As you can see, that's been locked down for like a month or 2 right now. And now the case is still raising and no sign of being reduced.
Like there's no correlation between like the measure helping to contain the spread at all. Like even though if you doesn't put that measurement on, the spread of the disease or the case of COVID-19 will still continue to increase. So people were like, we don't understand, why are you doing what you're doing? Because it surely and provingly that it doesn't help at all. And it show that what the measure that you implement in itself is the obstacle and is what's bringing people down economically or mentally or socially, so that is kind of
because
sad.
Now, so people stay at home, people work from home, right? And now it has been spreading at home, not at work, not at the restaurant, not at the shopping center, cinema, theater, or anything, like it just spread at home. And what's the point of keeping people at home? Like it doesn't help. So it has been like Thailand has become, state of scarcity, like it's been shortage of everything, not only vaccine, like hospitals, medical staff, and now the rapid antigen test, that you can test whether you can be COVID-19 in your home. Like maybe you like to call antigen test kit.
The problem of this ATK too is like, I remember we talked about it once, right? How it was so chaotic in Thailand, like just to bring in this rapid test. We all know how important it is, like for one to test out if they're, am I sick? Am I got COVID or not, right? And then in Thailand, we don't even have this rapid test or ATK. And when we got it, it was so expensive that many people, and I would say many people, a lot of people, majority of them have to waste unnecessary amount of money on this COVID rapid test that is necessary for their life to go on. And so it doesn't make any sense at all. Like we see in UK or in Europe, like the price of ATK or rapid test is about what? 0.5.
Like less than a pound. I can say like less than a pound. A pound is like 45 baht, so it's like less than a pound, it's like 30 baht. And now it's like the price in Thailand is like 300 baht, like more than 10 times.
Mind you, like the earning income per day of people in Thailand is 300 baht per day. And the ATK, which is necessary, is already like 300 baht and above. So like think about that. What's the logic about this? Like it doesn't make any sense.
because the minimum wages doesn't cover.
Yes, minimum wage.
It doesn't even cover the cost of you spending in your life, like living costs or anything like that. Now you have to think about buying the antigen test kit. So it doesn't so it doesn't make any sense, right? So like we make everything shortage, we make any scarcity in Thailand. So now it makes that everybody has to, like you make anything harder, So okay, I'm gonna put a case on Israel, right? Because Israel has been using the mRNA vaccine for the country. So Pfizer, for example, it has been the infection rate has been dropped since January, and now at the beginning of April, they start to have the 2 digits of people got infected. And later on in May and in June, they have like 1 digit people got infected. So it's like very, very less from what they has been vaccinated by mRNA vaccine for like 3 or 4 months. And now it proves that it works in Israel because the vaccination number of the country is more than 60% for 5 or 6 months. So it works. It proved that it works that you use the mRNA vaccine. Another country that has been proved that it works is United Kingdom, or you could say that it's England. Now it's been 57% of 2 doses, but the rate is keep growing, not like Israel that has been stabilized since 5 or 6 months later. 5 or 6 months ago that they has been vaccinated by the mRNA vaccine. But now you could say that the United Kingdom keep vaccinate people more and more, and now 1 dose goes to 70% and 2 doses is 57% of the population. So the cases or the new infection rate in the UK has been dropped for like 2 weeks now, from like 50,000 people, now it drops to 21,000. So it's like it drops, maybe I could say like constantly, but you could say that
getting better.
Yeah, it's getting better. It's getting better from using a good vaccine. That's what I'm gonna say.
So I opened Instagram and I saw like a lot of my friends, they're in Europe, they're in UK, and they were like enjoying their life, going to a pub, going to a bar.
Yeah.
Like my friend even have a graduation and like actual graduation, not an online one. So the sign is like they're going better when they got a good vaccine, a very, very effective vaccine.
And then UK, they stop closing. They stopped the lockdown. They have freedom days like 2 weeks ago, and then the rate's still going down because they keep vaccinating people. So as we seen from, like other country in the world that, New Zealand, UK, Germany, also in Scandinavia country, they use the good vaccine. Maybe there's some people that they anti-vaccine, they don't want vaccine, but that's minority. So we're talking about the majority of people get a good vaccine, and it works without lockdown, because the new Delta variant is not about lockdown. It's not about keeping people at home, because it also infected at home and very fast. So the lockdown is like it's different problem, but you use the wrong solution and hoping for the right one, which is which is logical fallacy, or whatever you want to call, and in the case of the US is interesting, because like people who doesn't like mRNA, they keep discredit the vaccine from the US, that okay, the US is the biggest vaccine manufacturer in the world, and why the case is still rising. So as because of the US is a very big country and very big population also, it's not easy, to get people vaccinated. So even in the CVS, the famous drugstore in the US, is like Watson or Boots in Thailand, they offer free vaccine to everyone,
in the grocery store.
In the grocery store, in the airport, if some people, for example, you can fly to the US, and then like when you get down a plane, you don't even leave the gate, and they have the vaccine for you. The good one also, the Pfizer, Moderna, or of your choice, you can get a Johnson & Johnson. But now the case in US is rising because of the Delta variant has been spread more than 80% in the US. So and a lot of people in the US doesn't want to get a vaccine. There's a lot of anti-vaccine people there, and they consider themselves libertarian, like don't mess around with me or I'll kill you, you know,
Right.
like that. Those kind of people are really exist in the US. So the vaccination rate has goes more than 50% in the US now, but they still cannot control it. So it's a different cases here. But the death rate has dropped, as you can see, from 5,000 people a day in January, and now it drops to 200 or 300 people a day. So vaccine actually affects with the death rate, like less people will die.
Not because of the lockdown.
Not because of the lockdown, it's because of the vaccine. And now, like, okay, any country in the world has a rest case, you know, even they got a best vaccine, the mRNA, you know, Pfizer, Moderna, or whatever, but the death rate, it keep reducing. But in Thailand, it's the opposite, because
it keep increasing.
Not only the new cases increase, but the death rate is also increased. So that's
like from what you're saying, we can see like vaccine is the key, and yet Thailand is still in struggle trying to find a good vaccine for the country. Right. And I'm not, and it probably like, it's sad to say, but it's already probably too late for us to be in a state of finding a good vaccine now. We should be able to get in the process of getting a good vaccine, like ordering now or like joining the COVAX now. It's already too late. Like damage has been done.
A lot of damage has been done.
It's no use. Like they, as I said, they have 2 years to prepare for this, and we still manage to be in this new low and new high every day.
And like people say that now we're in a crisis because and now at this time of crisis we should have a vaccine. But some people would say that if 2 months ago, if we got a good vaccine in time, it wouldn't be a crisis like today.
Yeah, we wouldn't be here.
So it's like, okay, now the hospital are full, you know, we don't have enough medical staff, don't have enough doctor, nurses, and other staff in the hospital. And even now, we got like a best vaccine in the world, let's say Pfizer, Moderna, Novavax, or whatever, you know, it may drop, you know, I mean, the cases and the death rate may drop in the next month. So because it takes a month for the vaccine to be functional, right?
Actually, yes.
So, but the bad news is the earliest as we can get a vaccine, the good one, you know, like Pfizer, Moderna, is October, you know, or
the end of the year,
the fourth quarter, you know.
Yeah, so we still have to wait like a couple of months.
Yeah, like a month or two to see the country burn, you know, because like we all already know, like you and I both know, they know, everybody knows that in the next 2 months, you know, at the beginning of this month, August, and the next month, September, we will not
everything will get worse.
Yeah, because we will not get any vaccine like the good one. You may get Sinovac, you may get Sinopharm, but it doesn't help at all.
The point is, you know, they can't get the good vaccine, like the effective vaccine, like Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson, whatever. But the point is, they trying to say like the Sinovac, Sinopharm also work the same, which we all know it doesn't. And you know, it would be much better if they can accept this, acknowledge this, that it doesn't work, and try their best to get the good vaccine as soon as possible, not like pushing this vaccine to many people who are like rely on this vaccine hope, you know. It just it doesn't make sense, and it makes people mad because you are forcing people to take a vaccine that everyone all know like is not effective enough to protect you from the Delta Plus, or the new variant. So it's keep getting worse, and what we see here is like the crisis, the problem, the damage had been done. It's little too late to get a good vaccine, and people are angry, people are frustrated, people are mad, like mad, and they're desperate, they are ready to do everything they can to survive. And we are already at this stage of society where people are desperate to stay alive. And you know, it's really bad is when money, even though like middle class, those who sometimes enjoy the privilege of like not having any trouble or affected by the crisis way before in the past, but now they themselves also like can't find a way to survive. Their money doesn't help them anymore, you know. So like it's getting really bad, like in terms of like physically, mentally, and politically. And that's why we see a lot of car mob, like demonstration using car during the COVID by a lot of group in the past couple of weeks, back in August. And yeah, it's because it really shows like the trust of the people and the desperation of the people in the society really increase a lot, and they no longer feel like the government are able to protect them or able to provide them with necessity to survive, like the ATK, the vaccine, the hospital, even like the frontline medical staff. They feel like they're risking their life and there's still no hope in it or anything at all. And like I feel like Thailand is really like walking toward the death and the crisis, and I feel like we may face a lot more losses before we got the vaccine, before like the end of the year.
Right. Because like it's not enough. Like it's impossible, right? It's like if you want to stop it now, you're gonna get the best vaccine and be fully vaccinated for like more than 60 or 70% of the population, which you cannot do it in one day. Like 20 or 30 millions of people get vaccinated in one day. It's impossible. It's impossible to stop this.
Yeah.
And about the lockdown measure, it doesn't really help. And it only make it worse by crushing down the weak economic of Thailand, which depends on the informal sectors, travel, like anything.
Tourism.
Yeah, nobody come to travel in Thailand. Tourism is broken. When
we have the sandbox, the Phuket sandbox.
Yeah, the Phuket one doesn't work.
Everybody knows that it doesn't work. Oh my god. They were saying like, oh my god, it's such a success. We bring in like 800 million baht into the economy. But like, no, that is BS. Like if you look at it, like since the first day that they allow people to come in, you have got people tested for COVID, and then you have to close down the Phuket sandbox. You close down the flight between Phuket to another province. You bring in this implementation saying like, oh, if the traveler want to travel to another province, you can't fly by air. You have to go with bus, and everyone is like, how is this a good like they don't understand how this sandbox is working, because obviously it's failing apart and like the sandbox is going with the sea. So like and if you look at the new measurement, the not closing down the supermarket, but like lifted the delivery inside the department store, right? And then added that even though you are in the department store, you can't pick up the food that you order. You have to order by delivery only. There's no takeaway. Like it doesn't make any sense at all how they implementing this measurement like without. It's like they never really lived in our society. They don't know how the society works, so they implementing this rule, isn't it? Because it's go against every normal human behavior, like Thai human behavior, I would say. I'm mad, I'm frustrated because like we've been in lockdown for quite a while. And it doesn't seem to be getting better. And when you lock down, you have no, how do I say it? No policy. Yeah, compensation too. And like you have no policy to counter the COVID, even though you already put us in lockdown. So you just like put us here endlessly so that, well, you can say you done something and such. I don't know. So I just hope we survive this all.
It just make people mad and go on up in the protests, and the protest is for sure it become more risky for getting infected or getting the spread of the virus, right?
But as I say, people were desperate.
They don't care anymore. So it's like when the failure of the administration leads people into this, and then it just wait for the day that it can be worse. So it's like the scarcity of the vaccine, it's like chain reaction to everything. Scarcity of vaccine, scarcity of the test kit, shortage of hospital, medical staff and everything. So it's like it can only get worse. Like now we have come far and far away from being in control. So the only thing that
they have no control from the beginning.
Can only sustain the situation is try to get more vaccine. That's the truth. Like I am the person who doesn't really like vaccine that much, but this is the only way
we all
now.
Know.
That like this is the only way now. A good vaccine that can protect you from the Delta variant. Like this is the last answer, and nothing can help. That's all.
Exactly. It's just getting worse. We're expecting more to come from the situation and the
Right.
chaotic right now.
Right.
But we just really hope like we all can survive this and hope to see a better, brighter future eventually.
Yeah, and that's the overall situation in Thailand for this month. You know, so now we summarize it into the episode of the Democracy X Innovation podcast. It may not be related much about democracy, but about the situation and recap and wrap up in this month. So only thing that you can do is to protect yourself from them. You know, from the virus. Exactly for that. That's what I mean. You know, like there's no other way for now. It's too far.
No alternative.
Yeah. So like the only thing that can say is be safe. You know, for yourself and for people around you, because like if people around you get sick, you might get sick too.
There's no escape from it, no matter from which class of society you are from. You eventually get it.
In our scale, you know, you cannot do anything more than this, you know, like sound desperate, but true. Okay.
Yeah.
So, thank you very much for listening for this month, and we'll see you again next week. Thank you very much. Goodbye and stay safe.
Thank you.